Hi, everyone. Dale Pinkert here with Mike Venezia at TradeGATEHub. We're sponsored, powered by TradeView Markets. Two pretty good, benign, or better than expected inflation reports in a row, Mike. But before I get to your thoughts, I think there's a problem when you get those kind of reports and then you get this kind of action in silver, okay, which, a lot of people are talking short squeeze. And, we failed from a pretty important area so far, this 22 area. In fact, there are quite a few markets doing the same thing. Copper's doing the same thing. It couldn't even get up to 4. Euro dollar 103.50 was, you could take it back this all the way back to 2018. See those lows down there?
Yeah, that 20 right there. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, and the other thing I don't like about silver is what I'm seeing happening in the gold silver ratio here. When I look at the daily chart, it's a falling wedge. And if we start heading up and break out this wedge, and it's already happening today, you could tell with silver being down 36 cents and gold still up $1, that we could be entering a period of underperformance in silver versus gold.
Well, I'm in them.
Okay.
And you know what? I took some profits in them. I'll give the chart a second. I'll let you finish. Everybody knows that if they're on TradeGATEHub that I'm long NUDT, GT, and GDXJ for some time now. It's making a nice move. My question to you is, I'm also in a little silver in this AGQ, this triple ETF AGQ. What would you listen? It's not. I'm not. I have. If
I'd sell it.
Really. Okay.
Okay.
Listen, like you say, next.
Yeah.
I wouldn't argue with you. Like I said, if the chart was, if the chart was a widget maker, I'd still say sell the widget. So
yeah,
what I'm saying is,
it's been a great run through October, November.
I'll sell it.
And I'm just going to tell people when I'm on Real Vision today, where I called the top in the dollar and was bullish metals. And bullish metals, that it's time not to have FOMO, to be patient now that we're at major resistance points and see what develops. And, I'm not impressed with the way silver's acting with a weak dollar. That's all I could say, Mike.
I'm going to sell it right now. Okay. No, I understand, Coach. And like I said, I'm going to, when we share after, I'll show the chart of the GPX and probably why.
Okay. And look at where the S&P stopped today, Mike. I'm not saying this is the end of it. We talked 4,100 down here. I was looking for something different, just one more jiggle before the great news we had. But
we were positioned. We were positioned from lower lows.
Yeah, but look at the 200. And the last time we came off the 200, I think, was in August, and it was a great short. But anyway, we're right near the 200-day. Are you ringing the register? I saw that you were even fading some things here today.
You know what? Listen, okay.
I'm going to give you the charts.
Oh, I appreciate that.
You got it, buddy.
Share screen. Let me go into TradeGATEHub and show everybody. Most importantly, is I sign in. And by the way, I sign in just the same as everybody else. It's that simple. Right here, and I'm in. Good morning, gents. And great posting on Coach. We were short some city back here. I am ringing. Listen, the rotation is the rotation is evident, at least today. And I'm, let me get to I'll get to the charts. The charts can do something, and I'll talk quicker. Okay. You know what I mean? It seems like growth is back into play, and value is not, as evidenced by them taking profits. They've been taking profits in stock like Kellogg and Coca-Cola, in stocks like CF and MOS, and I'm short Dupont actually, and it's a crowded short to a degree. It might come to fruition. I don't think I'm being in a different tax bracket, but yeah, I'm taking some things off. And why am I? Is because, and I shouldn't, because history is repeating itself and has throughout these weak Friday closes and a weak Monday open, and they fade. So the last 2 Thursdays was a strong PPI number, and then we rallied into that subsequent Friday, which is tomorrow, which is well today's being Tuesday. So we've rallied and had these 2-day rallies on binary moves.
Yeah.
And you know what?
2 good ones in a row. 2 good ones in a row.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like my wife when I'm at the racetrack, and she's the black horses are winning, And she's like, why aren't you betting the black horses? They're all winning. I'm like, you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know why I'm not going to go long in tomorrow's number. If it calls for it, I will. As my mentor, or a couple of them say, regardless of what's happening, if the stock has good range, price action, and volume, aside from the proper rotation, which more these days, at least this year, 2022, has been evident, it really doesn't matter, because they'll buy those same stocks the next day, or at least you'll get a chance to get out predicated upon that heavy volume and range it did have. So am I going to outsmart myself? I'm not sure. I'm open to suggestions. I'm not sure if I'm going to go long here, but I did short some things. It's, it's yet to be determined if they're going to be a trade or a position. Certainly, I don't know. And to answer myself, am I fighting the trend? I'm not really sure yet. I mean, here's, we'll go to here's the chart on the SPYs at the 200-day.
Yeah.
Go to the Qs, right there. And I'm like I said in last night's video, in yesterday's video, I really want to see, you and I both agreed that we thought the lows were in for some time and weren't going to at least retest it. Whether or not it was going to, at what level the market was going to pull back, that was arbitrary. We both were in the same bracket and both still are invested. I'm certainly not all in, and I don't think you are. And by the way, no is everybody else, because the hedge funds by last week's just started to have their biggest covering day in about a year. As I'll go back to TradeGATEHub, or if you want, I'll show that. You have to go back. Yeah, and that was, that was evident. And I posted that. But the bottom line is, you want to see if there's umph here in not these guys taking away. And I'll go back to TradeGATEHub and give an example. Not these guys taking advantage of Carvana weeklies, trying to take advantage of the short squeeze. Like I said, you want guys going out in January, which they did yesterday all day to Shopify. I wasn't in it because I was trying to build a position. It's up another 12%. BHP, Amazon, they wanted to go into lift calls. FUTU is another one they were going into. So, these are the stocks that I want to see them. I want to see the market pull back. And at what level is still arbitrary. But then I want to see, as the market pull back, people start buying into weakness instead of chasing strength and taking advantage of these exacerbated moves. But as the VIX sits at 25, 24, you're not going to get these moves anymore. It's why you're not getting a lot of reversals. So winners winners are winners. So, these losers stay losers for the day now. There aren't a lot of intraday reversals. It's only that. So that's where I sit. So, what
do you think of, I posted the Freeport chart because copper's looking a little tired to me. And, last week we said it held where it had to, and we had the big explosion. Wondering what you're thinking about Freeport. And, I know you're talking BHP is kind of a similar stock.
No, it is. And it's also European, for lack of a better term. And I'm not that bullish here, but I see huge amount of calls going off.
In Freeport?
In BHP.
Okay.
Freeport McMoran, right after you said it, I have to really think about what you said, because first of all, you've been dead right on the stock. Second, I give tremendous amount of credence, even if you give me a football game or something. So I'm going to have to look at it.
Yeah, I mean, it could pull back to 33, 34. I'm not saying it's the end of it.
No, that's my type of trade. I'll take it.
Yeah. If we hold there, I'd get long again. So there it is. See, it's almost like copper got right back to major resistance right here.
I see.
At the recent highs at 38.
Okay. I was going to take this cliff overnight too. Somebody was talking to me. This cliff, another BTU.
That looks pretty good.
No, the BTU, another one that's BTU has been taking one of the top, and I'll show it. One of the top 20 option flows I've seen throughout this year has been in BTUs going out to January and March in BTU. Not in it. Don't kill the messenger, but that's a lot of calls going there. And the reason why I thought of that is because you said about the cliff chart, which I have my eye on too. Obviously a laggard, and BTU is the one in, but they're in the right pew, right church, different pew, same type of thing. So am I fading some things? I did. I'll show you what I faded. I don't even want to look at them for a second because Dupont I faded. What is this thing? Now it's at the low of the day. You can see I've been shorting the hell out of this thing. It's 71.30. It's near the low of the day. It's not a barn burner. Okay, what else did I shorted? What else am I short? Some Chewy. Not a barn burner. I did get it nicely. What is it? 45.80, 45.30.
Yeah,
Right
that
before I
could
came.
trade back down to its moving average there.
No,
Under
that's what,
44.
but that's the short, listen, if everybody already got squeezed out of this already, you know what I mean? So I'm
Right.
looking for the last of the Mohicans. Maybe, listen, I'm not looking, and if it goes higher, it's not like I think I don't think it's going, I look at balance sheet. I don't think it's going back to 30. I'm in for a nice fade. I think
Let's see
it's
that ACQ chart that you were talking about.
AGQ.
AGQ that I don't
Yeah,
trade.
that's the silver. Now, yeah, I don't.
Okay, same thing. Look left. Look at where it's at. And I think there's a possibility you could buy it back where those two moving averages converge.
24, 20, 24. It's also a gap. Well, hold on.
Yeah,
No,
down
no,
under
a little
about,
bit of a gap, 22.60. Yeah, 22,
yeah, there.
22.90. That saved me a
And
lot of
that's going
money.
to be critical for it.
Wow. All right.
Okay.
Noted. I am in
Okay.
GBX still. Now I'm taking profits in a little bit today. Why? Because I have to on a technical basis. I don't think that the
Don't
story's
blame you. Pull back to 25, likely.
And I
So
sold,
people that have FOMO are buying the metals now after, we had $170 move in gold from the
Right.
low, 1610, 1780, and now they like them. Come on, man.
no.
You know what I mean? I
think that
understand what you're doing.
my technical reasons plus the fundamental reasons, whether right or wrong, from what I've been taught, are the reasons why I'm doing it.
And look at that outside day. You're getting a nugget, and that was a weaker
I sold it
rally
all
than
this morning.
GDX. All
Sold
right,
it all.
that's ugly.
Sold it
That's
all.
an ugly day. Gold's still higher, and
Yeah, no, it's a
Nuggets doing
triple
that.
ETF. I don't like holding triple T. I thought if one of these numbers were bad, they could take the AGQ of these. So that's why I did it. My plan, they did what they wanted to. I did. The plan is I was in the trade because they did what I wanted them to do. Now they're not. So when it doesn't do it, when your trade doesn't do what it's been doing, when you want it to do, that's when you should start piecing out of it.
I'm reading articles that they really think the Safe Banking Act is going to be on Biden's desk by the end of the year.
So what does that mean?
So that's for the cannabis industry.
Oh,
so that they can open bank accounts, they could write off expenses, so they're not an illegal business anymore.
No, that's going up here.
Can uplist. There's Moss.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, here's MJ. Well,
I'm not impressed with that one.
Well, there's your MJ. That's the ETF cannabis right there. MJ.
Yeah, that looks a little better.
Absolutely. What were we looking at? Oh, you know what had a nice move? GRWG. Look at that.
Yeah. Wow, that's come out.
Well,
of the
that
base.
one you might want to consider. And you know what?
Yeah.
Let's go back to the best of breeds, if you will. CGC.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it, but it's
coming out of a base, trying to.
It's almost a double. It's a 60% move. So you're okay there if you wanted the low. Let's go to the other ancillary ones, VFF, which used to be one of our best of breeds. If you remember, that was one of the original trades I gave you right here back in November.
Yeah.
And that went from like 7 to no, actually, I think it was even further back. It was back here. We started maybe December 20th, or it was VFF. Okay. So I know you're not impressed in MSOS. It should have made a bigger move. I didn't like this move here because it had it's a speculative stock. It had a lot of volume. It's got to digest the run.
Yeah.
It's digesting too much of a run too long for me. And let's go to the squeezers. Let's go to Tilray, certainly squeezing.
Yeah.
And you could just go to Herb Crone, used to be a friend of mine, trader. So those are the ones you want to go in. You want to start nibbling in something because of the act. If you're late or not, that's the MJ, Michael Jordan. That's the one for you to nibble in if you want. And that's the gauge. If that's going up, the majority is that 90% of your cannabis holdings are going to go up as well.
Okay. Well, we have winter coming, not the official start of it, but the weather start of it in Europe. And they're really facing some difficulties. And I think that uranium's going to get some more talk and sponsorship in the weeks ahead.
Okay. I have an opinion.
Okay.
Well, let's go to URA, which is the global uranium ETF. No matter what stock it was, it's a bull flag with some volume. Beautiful. Yeah. Let's go to CCJ, which CCJ has been lagging because This
It
gap
had
here,
that
no, they bought some,
earnings.
no, they bought somebody for like, they
Oh,
bought somebody for a big number. It was a fact, and that's why it was down. And it digested it. So it has a little bit of that, what would you call it? The smart guys call it accretion
yeah,
to
yeah.
wipe off.
Instead of dilution, it's a
Okay.
creative.
Correct. So CCJ still, I like it here. And by the way, it was beneficial to them, CCJ, and that stock. It was so you could see by the chart that how it acted. They actually had to take a step back to take 2 steps forward. It looks like that's wiped off. And by the way, that's the one I would buy.
There was one you showed me a long time ago that looked
UEC,
like it could have a third drive to the top. This may have been it.
UEC.
UEC.
That's one of Gerard's ones. He likes it. He was
Okay.
good on it. That one
Yeah.
too. It just looks like URA. It's the same thing.
Yeah. How about UROY, which is a royalty? UROY. Really had a big move. I'm not sure why last week.
UROY Jetson.
UROY. Look at that.
I would like I said, it's the same church, different view.
Right.
Pardon.
I'd buy a pullback in that. It's
Well,
like a royalty.
If you're like the uranium sector, this is my thing was never go to a couple of these sexy ETFs. You know, and you want to be in it and you want to get paid on it. So put like 25-30% maybe in the in this UROY or URA, and then some in CCJ and the UEC. That's what I would do. And those are you're going to get paid if you're going to get paid.
Okay. What's happening tech-wise, semiconductors? They really had a great week last week.
The big news,
they following through.
They're following through because Warren Buffett took a $5 billion stake in Taiwan Semi. A couple of things I have to say here. I think Warren's late, and it is pulling back. Also, obviously, it's up because of his speculation, because he said it, and he was obviously buying $5 billion worth here. Now, this is what I'm going to say. I don't know if it's a boomer thing. I'm not a boomer. I'm a Generation Xer, but I don't know if it's an antiquated statement or theme, just like stocks lead to commodities. I was always taught that semis are the first to bounce. And by the way, that might be the case because MU, after the financials, was one of the first to report, if you remember. So Warren took a position in Taiwan Semi. And by the way, we're the only ones buying them down there. Of course, we're not in it anymore because we tried to make the hard money. Note to all short-term or swing traders. But
now you know we're going to have to defend Taiwan because Warren's in it.
If
there's a problem,
as American as George Washington's apple pie, you're not going to let him.
You know we're going to have to come to their aid if there's an invasion.
But
Warren's in Taiwan.
The best of breeds. Lamb Research was then annihilated. That's been let's go to the weekly chart on Lamb Research. That was one of the best of breeds for years.
Yeah.
And you know what? You had a chance to buy it in the hole. At 300, it's gone up what 50%. It has gone up. Right to resistance. You pull back
more than 50. Yeah.
So I mean, what are you going to do now? So now I'm
wait.
No, seriously, no, I'm not going to wait. I'm going to look at this. Let me go back to this, and I'm going to wait for the smart money
to 400.
I'm going to wait for the smart money to come back and give me confirmation that for them to go back, Nio bearish, Baidu bearish, typical. Apple bullish. I want to see guys go hard into these things. Caterpillar
and go out to January.
They go out to January, and guys double down. Guys saying that, you know what, this made a nice move. Maybe I don't want to pay $486 for Lamb Research right now, but I'm definitely going to go in and nibble and buy some calls. So Billy, that was a short squeeze we liked. China play. So Nike, look at Nike for the fun from the poorhouse to the penthouse.
XLI saw some bearish wise guy action. Is that the industrials?
Yes, and they should be, because I'm sure to come with them too. Look at this is the industrials, coach.
Yeah.
And the industrials were the safe trade.
Yeah.
So now they're going to something like Square instead of with Dupont, which I hope is going down. Or Dupont breaking low. I shouldn't have said hope. I'm short. So with that being said and what am I looking for Dupont? I'm not listening to crowded short. I'm looking for a barn burner. Maybe I'm looking for 68, 67 and a half, maybe some option price. It's kind of the PUSSY trade, but I am playing the rotation correctly. But I'm not getting that aggressive in it. You know what I mean? I should have been buying some of these tech stocks instead of trying to pick a top in some against some short trend.
Should have.
Which,
Hey, Mike, you know what? Let's show people how you could be in it for decades. And I was asking myself today, like I took a position in euro, I almost got stopped out before the number.
now
And what do I teach all the time? Wait, react to the reaction. So I had FOMO and put on a position prior to a number. It's amazing after all, what I teach and profess. I asked myself, well, why did I do that before the number?
it is the
Now, sometimes
highest.
I'm doing interviews during the number, but really, it's amazing how you can just go back to an old default position if you're not really paying attention to yourself.
I appreciate that. And the reason why this video helps us, no matter if we have 50 or 5,000 viewers, is it makes me being a better trader. Who wants to be a hypocrite? I don't want to be. What am I going to say something and do the opposite? I wouldn't. What type of teacher? I mean, first of all, I didn't get here to trade that way, but I understand that, and it stops me a lot. And by the way, like I said, and even to jump further and go back to the videos, I have rules for the first time in 26, 27 years going into 2023. And why should I wait till now until 2023? Is I want to make sure I get it all out. But and I do. And I said this before, and let me go back to TradeGATEHub, and I am going to pontificate because I've earned the right to. And I'm going to go back for which I said yesterday. And if you didn't, please go through all the data. In G Money, that's okay. The plan comes to fruition. Hold on a second. Go through this. It's important. Yesterday's data that I put out was not better than usual. It was better than better than my standard. And it's this. Let's communicate. I do Tradeville. And you know what, Coach? It's a hypocritical thing. And I try to always say, you know, would I want somebody managing, would I will give my money to me if I was somebody else that wanted to manage the money? And that's what keeps me in check. It's the responsibility. You know what I mean? Coach?
Yeah. So the VIX, has it made a new low after that gap up that we had yesterday?
I can't find it, whatever. But has it made a new low? Let's look. Let me look right now. I did buy more some protection today. It's really not my thing to buy protection, but did it make a new low? No, it didn't make a new low. I did buy some. Matter of fact, it's at the high of the day. So I want to see what the wise guys are doing. Do you know what I mean? So I'll go in here, and first I'll do is I'll look at this. Hold on, am I sharing the proper screen? All I have to do right now in TradeGATEHub is go stocks, New York stocks. Let's look at top US losers, for example. Go to change, punch up CHRA, boom, punch up. I hope I'm short one of these things here. I'm not, but let's look at Getty right here. So that's what I look at, what's moving now. Coach, on a macro term, it doesn't really matter what happens today kind of at the end, because it's going to be a long week. I'm not going to take a lot of, I'm looking to build onto I flipped. Now I have less trepidation putting money to work longer term than I do shorter term. So you know what I mean? It was like, it was the opposite for some time.
Right.
And I feel better with that because my greatest acumen is my short-term trading, which I can focus on.
Well, so, two important things happen: a dollar top and a top in yields.
And by the way, if you want to know, if you want to see why that did, all you have to do is go back to your videos and I'm not placating. They're right here. Go back. I don't know when it was, Coach, maybe 2 weeks ago. I mean,
it was last week. We were talking about a high in yields before the number.
Yeah, you called it dead top, and you did call it dead top. Bravo.
421, we got to 425. Now we're trading 380. So yeah, and I think we're going to 3.
That'd be nice.
Okay, really, by January, February.
So I showed
one thing to keep in mind is that there could be a period where rates are coming down, and we'll look at the market and go, hey, how come the market's not making hay out of the yields being down?
No, I appreciate
and that's when we could enter a period where rates could come down and stocks could sell off on a growth scare.
Okay, noted. And I want to say this about Walmart, Coach, and it was noted. Believe me, I can listen. Walmart started this thing. Okay, let's look at the Qs. I know the Qs coming into the year started taking some profits, obviously, here into January, and they did. Okay, This is what, and the market had bounced nicely in April before this. Walmart. This was Walmart. Walmart brought the market down. And Walmart here from 150 to 117 within the biggest, Walmart had its biggest decline since 1988.
Right.
I still remember the stat.
Yeah.
Now
There it is.
Walmart today announced earnings and
Yeah, look at
basically
that.
is where it was when it started.
Yeah.
Within a time frame, I thought the scar would take a lot longer to heal. And I don't think this is a short squeeze in Walmart. You can't short squeeze Walmart. Like
No.
this stock is too heavy and thick. And
Going to
it's popping,
175.
popping. So Walmart
Yeah,
may
looks like
be tipping the hand
175.
longer term. I don't know what's going to go on later, but Walmart basically is saying everything's okay. This is where we sit. I'm short FAS.
Go shopping.
Right, Coach? Go. You
Yeah.
know what? Well put. And you're helping me stay in some of these things, I hope.
That looks
I am
pretty
going to go
good, man.
shopping. I am short you too.
Okay. All right. So any last words?
No, there isn't any last word. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. On any trading thing, this is what I'm going to say. If you go, I used to say when you walk into a bookstore, but when you go into Amazon, there are just as many books on empirical trading, charts, Fibonacci's, volume, blah, 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 as there are psychological, trading in the zone, know yourself. It's not, nobody has the secret. So the thing is, know yourself, have a plan, know what type of trader you are. This is a time to either trade more aggressively on the TradeView account demo. If you don't have one, get one. You know what I mean? There are plenty of different.
They say practice makes perfect.
And it
Mike.
is. I'm learning. I'm not sitting here at 11:35 a.m. because I think I'm going to change the next tax bracket. I'm not. I think I want to get better and learn something still in a 26 year. It's a really reason why I'm doing it. Believe me. Fact. So know yourself, have a plan, know your style. Coach and I are here to teach you our style. We just happen to know our style a little bit better than most know their own style. Build your own style. The last thing that you're going to ever have to worry about is on where to go or direct you to what's moving and why. That's what I'm going to say.
But learn to be independent of instead of dependent on anyone.
Yes. We want to look at the microphone. We want to listen. This is a charter boat. We want to learn. We want to go on the boat with us 50, 100 times. Then eventually you buy your own small boat and eventually you learn how to fish instead of paying or whatever. Instead of learning, nobody pays because it's free. Which, by the way, if I got a chartered boat every day like that, I'd be on it. I'd sleep in my galoshes. What do they call those things?
That is the hugest microphone I've ever seen. That is really
not the biggest guy, but it
well,
says
anyway,
something.
I like it. So
I have a Napoleon complex. With the bigger the microphone, the harder you should listen, the more you should listen to me.
Anyway, Mike,
kidding.
you're not only talented, but it's a blast to talk markets with you. Bet the ball around. And so you have a great day. We'll be back together on Thursday. I know you're going to be broadcasting tomorrow. So really, practice makes perfect. What better thing to use than a demo account? And try some of our ideas, try some of your own, and start practicing.
Well, if the room seems a little bit advanced, it's not, because you go back and listen to, and go watch 9,000 videos and you'll eventually get it. Trust me. And by the way, whenever I learned something, I always got better in sports by not playing with kids my age and dominating, man. I got thrown in with the 8th graders when I was 6th grade. You know what I mean? We pushed you in there. We got a life preserver for you, but you're in the deep end of the pool. Nobody's sticking their toe in. Believe me, that's the way you're going to learn. Touche.
Yeah, don't chase this huge rally in metals. Don't chase this huge rally in euro and cable, and be patient and wait for your spot.
Okay.
That's how I'm going to close it here.